Hello, this is another tough video, so it's a tell a friend video and it's on the topic bigger than Corona, question mark. No, just normal human behavior. So as you see, it's kind of the Corona series, but kind of a wider series because Corona is just a small part of the bigger picture. Now, if you look at the money game, so I'm not talking about a game like a social game or an empathy game or a fun game, or there are many different kind of games that are going on. So if you take the money game, so it's all about dollars, yeah? And then, so you have 8 billion people and they create value, yeah? Create value, yeah? That's what they do. And usually that value, I now put it in red, that value is measured in dollars because we are in the dollar game, yeah? I could draw the same for another game, like the giving, the empathy game, the helping game, and so on. That also exists. But usually things boil down to money. So these 8 billion people create value. And I don't want to split it up for different countries. You can do the same, but just consider 8 billion people. And there would be about, I would say, 10% of the workforce are the ones that really, so I call them the top creators or top workers. Yeah, they create lots of stuff, engineers or craftsmen, doctors and, scientists and so on. So these are the top workers. And then you have about, this is just estimated, we can draw the line, also we could say 5% or 20%, but it's kind of in the order of magnitude. So there are some people that are top workers, and then there are like about 50%, they are kind of so-so workers. They kind of fiddle through and they help those guys. Sometimes they work for really create value, sometimes they don't create value. And then you have a huge amount, I would call it like a 40%, and they I call them receivers. Yeah, so they usually receive money. So it's not that they create they do not create value, but kind of they live off the others. It could be 30% and here 60%. It's just these exist in the society. And now the thing is, those people create value, and the value is rated in terms of money. And now, so what they do is they let's draw it here, a bag, and a bag of money, so they put, these ones, I put a dotted line, they create some value. These ones, a bigger line, they create, and these ones, a real big, very thick line, so they create lots of money. So these ones kind of, maybe they even receive, so it's a give and take. So these ones, and so there are different types of people, one generating more than the other. And now there is a part of these 8 billion people, a small part, is composed. These are the ones that are often called the elites, and the helpers, the allies, elites and helpers. And I would say the elites are about 100,000 in the world. So it is, per coincidence, Price law, every, in 100,000 people, there's one that belongs to the elite. And I think order of magnitude helpers would be like division, so factor 1,000, so that you would have then about 1% of people are helpers, supporters of this. And the elites, what they want, and that's the biggest problem. What they want is they want this money, which is created by lots of people here, by the workers. It's usually not created by them. They manage it. They influence it. So what they want is, they want the elites, which is 1 out of 100,000 people. So you can look it up, Price law. So it's the square root of the number of people living, so 10 billion people, and then you take the square root and you get 100,000. So these are the elites. They get most of the money, but they know that they can't do it themselves, so they need the helpers. So they give a chunk of money also to the helpers, and so they get also money. And obviously those guys here also in turn they need to be happy, so they kind of create their money, and here they get money from the government. So so each one of the people actually survives. Well, some of the 8 billion don't survive, they die of hunger, and diseases and so on, and lack of water and so on. But what we can say is that we have a value creation, and we have people that live in here, and these people are obviously also part of the 8 billion. So some come from the receivers, the not so well working, some from the social workers, and some of the top workers. Sometimes even a top worker makes it into the elite and then becomes a billionaire and then does the same game, because that's very, very important. This is just a normal human behavior. This is what, if I'm a lead, I would do the same. And now what does the same mean? And now we come to, and I also draw that in red, they make the laws. So they decide how much money the receivers get. They decide how much they have to pay. They decide what laws have to be. So they do decide about law, about the social welfare. They decide about taxes, and all these things. So they make the law, and so that means that the laws are being made by the helpers and the elites. They, with the lobby, so lobby, but they get stronger every day, every year. So they often don't even have to have a lobby. So they already have the helpers sitting in here doing the laws for them, so that they can actually get as much money out of this bag that has been created, the value that has been created by normal people. And so this about 1% of people, they stay here. They are the elites and the helpers. And now one important thing to maintain all that, you need one very, very important thing, and that is you need to manipulate. I draw that in black, so manipulate. So manipulation, and that is done so it influences the whole. So that is media. So they create, and the elites have the best relationship to the media to manipulate. They have also excellent relationship to the governments, but also to the media. And the media, the governments do it by laws, while the media, and that is much stronger, and that goes on to the reptile brain. Yeah, the emotions. So that is emotions. Yeah, so they control the crowd by the emotions, and the intellect is kind of switched off. So it's a post-fact society. So intellect is facts are not important anymore. Facts gone, and only emotions, meanings, and opinions. I would call it so. opinions. So opinions are important. And with that, you can actually control the masses. And so you can keep this system up. You can control it via these laws, via the tax, and so on. And so you make sure that the elite, helped by the helpers, are able to squeeze as much money out of the system. And the funny thing is, I would say greater 90% of these guys are actually happy. And so that's fine. The elites are also happy. So kind of everybody's happy. It's just there is some small percentage of people, that question, why is this happening? Why can't we kind of cut these things? Why are these ones influenced? Why do we have lobby? Why does the media manipulate us? So these ones ask those questions, and these are the only ones that actually are unhappy. So these are the only ones that are unhappy, and therefore this is now obviously something which lots of people might not like, but I say so. We actually have a very good world created like that, because they are happy. 90% of people, or bigger than 90%, are happy, and it's only a small percentage number, let's say 5. Here it would be around 5% are unhappy. Those ones that ask questions, that say, couldn't we do it differently? Couldn't we kind of get the African people up to speed and solve their problems? Couldn't we kind of get rid of wars and so on? This is obviously, that is what these people ask about. But most of the people just believe the media and say, the Africans, they are so stupid that they cannot pull themselves out. Oh yes, they are, well, but we helped them so much, but they still didn't come out of the of their bad situations of hunger and not having water and so on. But it's actually a plan not to kind of get them up to speed and so on. So if it's not, in their interest, it could be that in 10 years, 20 years, Africa is important and gets important, and then the elites will change and put up laws and introduce other things. So, but the important thing is to know that the elites control the politicians. We think they do what we tell them, what we as the people tell them is true, but that is only true for not important things. That is who organizes a music festival. The elites don't care, so the local politician can organize a local folk festival, fine. But he couldn't make the law how to deal with, for example, subsidiaries, money they receive, social welfare, the medical industry, pharmaceutical industry, how the nutrition industry works, and if they have to label their products, how the farmers work, how the chemical industry can sell their goods to the farmers, and all that is being controlled, because that is big money, and that is controlled by the elites. So that is the world we live in, and as I said, more than 90% is happy with that situation, and that is why I believe it shouldn't be changed. And now the thing is, it's already 14 minutes, but I want to do a statement here, and that is, now, if you are one of these 5% or so of critical people, then what you have to do, and there's some advice from several people that I already heard, is try to organize your life in a way where you do not play on this playground, because that is the trick, also a psychological trick. If somebody wants to drag you into his playground where there is always fight and there is hatred and so on. The thing is, you have to say, this is not my play field. I play here. That is my playing field. So, and now the thing is, if in this world there's enough room for those 5% people, they can actually be happy because they don't play in this field. They try to get a little bit out of, they do value creation, they get some money from it, and then they organize their own lives in their own playing field. We don't have to play here. Please play there. And so that would be the only advice I have. And the big problem could be if the elites get kind of overstretch this and force everybody to kind of comply to rules like forced vaccination, or the polluted air or polluted nutrition, or medical treatment is only by using pharmaceutical stuff that is not healthy. They are not curing you, they just want to keep you ill, whether they start wars and so on. Because for us, for example, in Europe, we don't have a war here in Europe, so that's fine. But if the elites decide that they want to launch a war in the Arab countries, then the poor population there is really very poor, and they cannot, and they are being dragged into the playing field of war, and then they are not able to move out of that and play in their own realm. And so my advice here is, if you are able to find a playground where you can play with your friends, with the people that think alike, that are also empathic and so on, then try to get out of this very cruel money game and move out into an area where you can be happy. Comments are most welcome. I hope you enjoyed the video, and see you next time. Bye bye.